and then they screwed up even more with Alien Rangers with their battle boards.
Alien Rangers was awful.
The battle boards were actually no more than the Rangers themselves in mech form, which then they armored themselves, which turned into the mini Shogun Zords, which became the big Sword. It is a whole
yeah. But then they also have the amazingness that was Forever Red, which brought in the Beetleborgs, for the remnants of the Machine Army.
For me, I was still waiting for that team up with the Beetleborgs and Justin from Turbo. All being kids and then growing up to adult size. Yes, you in the back?
Yes. Wouldn't Forever Red have been pretty much
impossible
because of the ending of In Space, where all evil.
Well, there's the
ending of In Space also was retconned along with the ending of Turbo. Both of them were like didn't happen because then all of our continuity and everything is screwed.
Well, there's a lot of different fan theories about how so and so got their powers. Like we saw in like one episode, Justin got his powers back because it was like something with blue lightning. And then so we took it's all these different ones, but honestly, yeah,
it's the Force.
Yeah, it's just the Force behind it all.
The power grid that they're all tapping into, which is like the planet's power.
Well, then you look at the current stuff like Megaforce, and everyone has their powers back now. All the powers were destroyed, blah blah blah. But no, they won't remember that. Let's just bring them all back.
But I mean, I really liked Forever Red just as nostalgia. It was really awesome to see them all come back, do their individual ones. But
except the fact of Serpent Terra.
Except for the oh my God, Serpent Terra was nerfed so bad. But the worst thing about Forever Red was honestly them bringing back Jason, because they've already proven within Space that though the power coins do work, they're glitchy. And what was it? Was Adam? Adam brought his back, and he's like having seizures every time he tries to morph. So it would have worked, but his powers, but Jason's powers should have been the same, to where he would have been like fighting, and then they're on the moon.
On that, there was an interview done where
he wasn't supposed to be the Ranger there though, but they couldn't reach Rocky.
Yeah, there was an interview done where apparently how they explained that was there was a comic that had a clone of the Red Ranger in which the power coin was recreated, and he ends up getting the power coin from that. It seemed like a very weird thing, but that's how they
America, well, not really America, but Saban kind of screwed themselves with trying to make them all individual series. That somehow they do kind of team-ups that work, but it's not the same where how Japan has done it, and they're all within the Earth at different time frames that they're all
the same.
They're all there, and only like a very, very minor few Power Ranger series have actually kind of mentioned that other ones exist. Like, I really like Dino Thunder, because did anyone here actually notice that there were Sentai footage within Dino Thunder? Yes. That was the boxes within their command center. If you look at it, they had like several pre-Zero Ranger little emblems on it. That
not to mention that Lost in Translation episode from Dino Thunder was literally the cast watching the episode of Aba Ranger.
Which Aba Ranger has probably one of the funnest dances that I've ever seen, because it reminds me of like 80s jazzercise music. And you have the like little minion guys just and I'm like, this would be hilarious to do as like a joke thing at a con, just to have like a jazzercise mornings panel, and it's just Power Ranger jazzercise doing that. Yes.
And also this Battle Thunder, they actually watched Tommy's journal as a Power Ranger.
Do what?
They show they play like it's a two-part series like of Back in Black, where they show Tommy's journal as a Power Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Back in Black.
Yeah. And it's like shows like all the teams before Dino Thunder.
So you see, we've all come to the conclusion that Tommy is like whenever a Ranger team gets known or literally or just defeats evil, he automatically somehow knows about it. And he's like, okay.
Well, I find out he actually was friends with Cam. So he actually, at one point, that's how he has his network running. Is he's actually he actually knows Cam and is in contact with him several times during Ninja Storm you actually find out he actually was involved in some of the help with Ninja Storm, because he makes a mention during when they figure out who he is, that he's like, well, yeah, we have Ranger teams around the world. I've talked with this guy who's involved in this, and so lots of little like hints towards previous ones. But
so
he's
they basically made Tommy the Chronicler.
Basically, he's the guy that
he's like Power Ranger
here,
Jesus.
And like people
they use him to tie everything together. Because
well, I mean, look at him. He's been green to white to red again.
He doesn't. And he doesn't like that one.
Oh yeah.
We actually ended up having a panel with him on it with us. He actually was a guest at MTAC one year in Nashville, and it's actually an embarrassing story for us. And oh my God, this thing's all in one. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's still on 1 of 29.
You don't have
no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
you don't have a stable connection.
We got it. We got it. Whatever.
What we can do is I wouldn't recommend this, but for like we can keep going, and like for some video I can probably just turn my computer because I have everything on this.
But at least we'll get audio for everyone. So
yeah,
we'll
we can probably, if we can get like everyone to like come up to like the very front levels, we can probably get everyone to at least see this. I am very sorry that we have all this. We have all these problems.
Yeah, if this was an older TV, it's weird. It's like older TV would be great where it has multiples, but whatever.
But I would. Go ahead. Finish.
I lost track of where we were going here. Crap.
Show us videos.
Do what?
You're going to show us videos.
Remember, you had a question
before
what's your question?
Yeah, the embarrassing story.
Oh yeah, no, the embarrassing story about Tommy. So
let's go with his question first.
Who do you think was the first Power Ranger to ever be created or walk the Earth?
First Power Ranger what?
Who was the first Power Ranger?
Created or walk the Earth?
On Earth. To walk in.
Well, there's a lot. Well, there's a lot of different. There's like a lot of different stories. Like for example, if you watch the original Power Ranger movie, Zordon states that there was a group of Rangers who defeated Ivan Ooze before he came back. I've actually been thinking about that, and I believe that is what ties the Die Ranger team to Power Rangers, because when Zordon created the Thunder Zords, he said that they were ancient powers that he could call upon, but he had to rebuild from the wreckage of the old Zords. So I have to believe that. So I mean, I've come to believe that the Die Rangers were actually a team before Mighty Morphin. I mean, based on their designs and their animals, they're ancient creatures. So it would be the best kind of theory about all that.
You also got to remember they also had the ones for Samurai.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to turn this around, and then
And Gosei.
Yeah, Gosei mentions it with the Ancient Rangers, and you also had Samurai, where they had the Ancient Rangers that
for the chart.
The chart.
Yeah, I mean, Rangers have probably existed for centuries, but we only cover so many. But like in Japan, we've been well aware of that since 1975, and we've had 15 series that we've never touched in America. The first one was actually supposed to be a series called Dynamon, which is actually a series based on explosions. Like, all these Rangers had to do was pose, and an explosion would just happen behind them. That's how they defeat enemies. I mean, can you imagine having the superpower of just striking a pose, and then everything behind you just exploded for no reason?
Well, that already happened. How does that not make
What I would really hope is if I ever had a Dynamon suit, no one asked me to pose in front of somebody or in front of a building, because that place would
I was never posing in a bathroom. That is off limits transformation.
All right, well,
hold on. So with the joke with Tommy, we got 2 jokes out of this, because one, he actually told us about an incident in the command center during filming. But the first one was with Kiba Ranger. In Kiba Ranger, it's basically Blue Turbo. So it's a little kid that has the White Ranger powers. And the little kid, when he transforms, is a little pervert.
Well, we actually have video for this, and
so this little kid is Kiba Ranger, who is the White Ranger. Before you actually play it, this was the video that was playing when Jason David Frank just decided to walk into our panel and come join in and talk to us some. So this is something we don't want to expose him to. So he just walks in, and I'm just watching the video because I'm looking through other stuff, and all of a sudden he just starts and then starts punching me in the shoulder and goes, and just points at him, and I'm like, Alt F4. Oh no, the video crashed. Well, we'll do something else.
he can go first.
I'm very sorry. This is all we can do, but.
This is where he goes and flips up first, I believe.
Did everybody see this okay?
At least, or at least hear it? Since we all know Japanese.
I'm learning Japanese. All good.
This was when he walked in.
Oh, yes. Perfect time.
So it was like 2 seconds before that scene, and I closed out. I was like, oh,
Nice.
So.
You want to play the end of it?
That's the way you do
No,
it.
The second thing that happened, because we ended up having playing the blooper video that was in RPM, which is beautiful. If you've not seen it, you really need it. It's on YouTube, the entire thing. It's a montage that they did in probably one of my favorite episodes of RPM. It is an episode where they go behind the scenes and everything, show you how they do the tricks, how everything gets done, and then at the end of it, they're like, by the way, we don't do this perfectly. Here's why. And like it's malfunctions in the equipment, so like these guys are walking through the sliding door, and the sliding door decides to not open. Or not open fully, and the guy just walks head first into the door. Or it closes way too quickly, and he's like halfway through it, and the end is knocked off.
And then we have some other things like people forgetting their lines, people dropping their stuff.
Like one guy
people
throws
farting.
his morpher accidentally. He's supposed to like do this, and it just goes flying. And he's like,
That's my favorite.
He was only brought on for just one job, and that was to catch a phone, and he failed.
no, walkie-talkie. This random guy, the guy tossing the walkie-talkie, and that's his only scene is to catch it, and that's it. And instead, embrace it. But the last joke is the Blue Ranger goes to pose and lets one rip. And at the end of that, we turned over to Jason, and we were like, so, did any like jokes, issues happen in there? And he was like, well, at one point we had an issue with Kimberly on stage in outfit, and just utter silence.
And it's spandex too, so it goes.
Yeah.
So like the middle of the command center just lets one go. She's trying to blame it on Billy. She's just,
So what I would like to show you is when I was talking about the Sentai. Now there was a episode in the Japanese series that Wild Force was based off of 100 Beast Sentai Gao Ranger. We actually had a team up with a bunch of previous Rangers.
And that's what we got Forever Red.
big one.
Big one, yes. But we've got one. But there's one clip that was shown that showed every Red Ranger from 1975 all the way up to Gao Ranger.
It's like a 6-minute video roll call
We'll just-
of all the Red Rangers. We'll show just the beginning where it just shows the lineup, but like the lineup right after it is each of them doing their pose and calling out their name, and it's like 6 minutes.
And by the way, this is the leader of the second Sentai.
His nickname is the Power Ranger Pimp because his casual outfit is a white suit, a white pimp suit with a cane.
But he's Superman. But
No, he's Tuxedo Mask because his transformation scene is he sniffs a rose and throws it and transforms. He was the original Tuxedo.
He's an android. He has the powers. He has the like atomic powers, magnetism, and
Gravity.
Yeah, gravity.
He's really OP. Like,
Be a gentleman a girl would always want.
except he's a robot, so he's the opposite.
Yeah, he's a cyborg.
He's a gentleman. He's a gentle bot.
You got an Aka Ranger up there?
What?
Got Aka Ranger up there?
Yes, we will talk about Akiba Ranger at some point, which is probably the funniest thing that Japan has done.
What ranger?
Akiba Ranger.
Now, can everyone see this? Okay.
Tilt a little
Yeah.
bit.
Tilt it a little bit more.
Tilt it forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, original blood.
Say hello to
I was thinking.
That was awesome.
That is every shoot out there they could find on set point.
Is this a video? Can you watch the whole entire video?
Yeah, it's the whole video. So we could show the full thing, but like I said, it's like 6 or 7 minutes.
We'll give you like a couple of the beginnings.
We can give you the first 15, so you see all the ones that aren't ours, but I mean, there's no purpose in showing all the ones we've already got.
Sure.
Battle Fever.
Battle Fever is ridiculous. No, it's all Japanese. This was never translated over. Or it's translated, but it's never dubbed.
Those are the explosion guys.
We'll explain. Donna.
That was monkey stuff. How many touch?
Bird Ranger.
It never connected, and then my computer doesn't have Wi-Fi, so I can't update.
Other Bird Ranger.
Jetman.
Bird Ranger.
Oh, that's it? We're caught up?
Yeah.
I never seen him.
Okay, so we actually got right to where you actually see the actual 17th Red Ranger, which was
Ninja.
No, that's 18th. 17th was Die Rangers. So Donoman. We have another video that shows it, and you actually see it in this one. The only group, or the only Red Ranger to have an explosion behind him is Donoman. Because literally every time they do anything posing, things explode. And there's a series called Gokaiger, which is a great series for Sentai. I don't suggest actually having it be your first. It sadly was mine, but I was explaining things about it because Gokaiger is used actually as a good way to solve issues from previous series. And there's several things that happen in it that would ruin series if you knew it. Because there's characters, Sentai actually has several characters throughout it that die. Their Power Rangers actually get shot and killed, die in explosions, one goes to hell.